The consequences of betraying God moments after we've just received a blessing from Him. So, guys, have you ever done such a thing? Turned your back on God right after He blessed you with something that you've been asking for. And then possibly because of, you turning your back on Him, now you're dealing with something that you never saw coming your way. And now you feel bad because something terrible has happened. And because you turned your back on God right after He blessed you, only you don't really realize that this bad thing that is happening to you is because of your betrayal to God right after He blessed you. I am going to give you an example, all right? So I have a small ministry, okay? And in my ministry, I look for people to help. I'm very selective, and God also leads me for, as to which person to help. He always tells me yes to this person. He always tells me which person to say yes to and which persons to say no to. So I will give you an example of something that just happened to somebody that I just helped, okay? So we are in, okay, by the way, today is July 15, 2019. And what time is it? It is 2:40 in the afternoon. So I have this friend that lives in Uganda, and this friend, hold on a minute. This happened. We're in July, May, June, July. Hold on. May, June, July, August. Okay, I'm just trying to count how far away. It was in May. It was in May that I helped my friend. Okay, so in May, my friend sends me an email, and he tells me that he is really struggling, and he was asking me questions about going to Dubai to look for work over there, because a lot of people go there to look for work. People in that part of the world, like a lot of people in Africa, they go to Dubai to look for work, and I guess people from different parts of the world, they go there too to look for work, because the situations in their lives, in their countries, are really, really tough. So out of desperation, people just they manage to save up the money and they go. So anyway, so my friend sends me an email telling me that he's really desperate, and he needs to find a way to get to Dubai, and he was asking me if I know anything, what do I know about Dubai and all that. So I just told him, look, it's not necessary for you to go to Dubai. Besides, you don't know anybody there. It's just you by yourself. You're just going to be going there by yourself. And I don't feel it's not a good thing. I also, guys, prophetically, I knew that it would not go well for him if he went. This is why I was so distressed that he didn't go. So I told him, look, just don't go. I will help you. So yeah, so then he said, okay, I thank you that, I'm not going to go. And besides, he said that he was just like desperate to find the money to go. That's why he was asking me if I knew anything about it. He wasn't asking me for money. No, he wasn't asking me for money. He was asking me, what do I know about the work conditions for foreigners in Dubai? So I told him that for him, it's not a good thing, and that he should not be going. So then he said, okay, well, I won't go. I was just desperate to find out what does it take to go there, and I would have raised the money. That's what he said. So and then I told him, okay, I will help you instead. And you guys, in Uganda, life is very, very cheap. I mean, well, I mean, considering in Uganda, I mean, like for somebody in their country, it's going to be expensive because you understand what I'm saying? Depending on wherever you're living, life is going to be whatever it is. But for a lot of us, life in Uganda is very cheap, would be very cheap. So I told my friend that I was going to help him. So I asked him for, you know, his ID and his name and everything, because that's, you're going to need what the person's name appears like on their government ID, you know, their legal ID, in order for you to receive funds and not have a problem retrieving the funds once you get, you know, once you go and pick up the money. So my friend gave me his information, and then I went right away and I sent some money, and the amount that I sent him it's an amount that he can start a business with, right? So then he went to go pick up the funds, and I was very happy because I was concerned, guys. I was concerned for my friend. So he was relieved, of course. And so I said, okay. So then I said to my friend, okay, now what you have to do is you have to tithe this amount, and you have to give an offering. And he said, oh, that's not a problem. I do that all the time. I do that at church. I always tithe and I give an offering. And I said, good for you. Very good. That's the first step in, you know, on the road to things getting better for you. And so he did that. He tithed the money and gave an offering. And then I told him, well, actually, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. In one conversation, you know, I was telling him that you need to tithe and give an offering. And he said, yes, I understand that. And I also told him, I said, look, what kind of business do you want to get into? So he told me. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. That's really good. But you need to understand that whatever you do with this business, you need to dedicate it to God, because He is the one that heard your cry for your circumstances to change. And now you are responsible for honoring Him by dedicating your business to God. Make Him the leader of your business. Tell Him that He is the boss of your business, and that you want to do things according to His will in your business now. Because yes, you just need to honor Him. He's the one. Because of Him is the reason why you've now been, you know, given the opportunity to start a business, get yourself out of financial hardship. I said everything is God. Everything is God-centered. Whatever you get involved in, it's all has to do with God. Nothing about our lives, nothing about our lives cannot not have anything to do with God. You understand? Nothing about our lives cannot not have anything to do with God, which means we must include God in 100% of everything that involves us, because He was the one that made us, and He's the one that knows which direction that we need to take in all areas of our lives. Otherwise, we are just blind. We're leading ourselves blind, and we're going to fall because we don't know what we're doing. You understand? So then I explained to my friend all of this, what I just said. I explained this to my friend. And I said, please, just make sure that you honor God with your business. And then my friend responded back to me, and he said, I'll think about it. So when my friend said this, I was very upset. I did not regret that I had sent him some funds to help him, but I was very, very, very upset, guys. And I was very disappointed because I didn't know that this was how he related to God. I thought that he was somebody who was completely surrendered to God in everything. But it turns out that he wasn't. Now, he does believe in the Lord and he wants to live for the Lord, but he's just, at this time, he's not making the right decisions in his heart in the area of full dedication to God. That this is what he needs to work on. So when my friend told me that he will think about it, I responded and I said, look, this is what's going to happen to you with this kind of attitude. I explained it to him. I said, when God answers your prayers for something that you've been needing, because you have been needing something in a desperate way, okay? When he answers your prayer, and the moment you receive this blessing, the answer to your prayer, you turn your back on him right away. You are betraying him, and then what's going to follow next is you are going to suffer for it. You're going to deal with consequences from having betrayed God, from having turned your back on him. The moment he answered your prayer for something that you had been needing in a desperate way for a long time. So you have to understand that you cannot like just treat God that way. Like, it hurts him when we ask him for something, then he gives it to us, and then we betray him by turning our backs to him, by saying, okay, God, now you have done this for me, but now I'm going to turn my back on you because I don't need you anymore. So I explained this to my friend, and my friend was like, well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's just, I'm just going to think about it. Again, I responded to my friend. I said, look, okay, if you want to get blessed in your business, okay, if you already have a business that you, like, if you already own a business that you have been operating for some time, and you would like to you want your business to become more successful, you need to tithe and give offerings, because if you're not tithing or giving offerings, your business is going to remain in the same state, and it's also going to suffer loss because you are stealing from God. You know, when he tells you, give me the 10% and give me offerings, okay, every 100% of the money in the world belongs to God. But he's only asking us to give him 10% and an offering, which is an amount of your choosing. So I said to my friend, if you have a business that you are already operating and you're not tithing or giving offerings, your business will suffer loss, and you will never ever reach the goal of the level of wealth that you want to go to. That's one thing. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing is, when people in your situation ask God to bless them with the finances to help them start a business, to get out of financial hardship, and you then refuse to honor God by giving him a 10%, and sorry, not a 10%. You refuse to honor God by dedicating your business to him right after you receive the funds to start the business, then you will also suffer for it. You're going to suffer loss. You're going to suffer loss from the money that you received, okay? And you will also suffer loss from any business that you will start from the money that you received. Because you can't expect for God to bless you with a successful business with the money that he gave you by refusing to dedicate that business to him. You do not want to involve God in your business. Well, then you can't expect for him to cause your business to grow, even if you are giving tithes and offerings. For example, like, okay, if you start the business with the money that you just received, and then you start generating an income, and you're giving tithes and offerings. Every week you're giving tithes and offerings because you're generating an income. But you're now expecting God to bless you just because you're giving tithes and offerings. But the thing that you're not understanding is that he is not going to increase your business just because you're giving tithes and offerings. That's just for show. That's just, you're going to church and showing people and God, oh, I'm giving tithes, so God is obligated to make my business grow. That doesn't work. It does not work that way, because you have made a conscious decision to keep God out of your business. This is what you have made up your mind about. Right? So you have made up your mind about refusing to involve God in 100% of the way